Have you ever found yourself in a situation where your kindness was treated as something disposable? Imagine the following scene. A man, exhausted after a long day of work, notices a child crying on the street. Without hesitation, he approaches to offer help, but instead of receiving gratitude, he is met with a shove and a look of disdain. Confused, he tries to understand what happened, but the child just walks away, leaving him standing there with the feeling that, no matter how much he tried to do good, his efforts meant nothing. This scene might seem unusual, but it reflects something many of us have experienced: the act of helping someone who does not value the help. And what if the problem is not just a lack of gratitude, but something deeper, something that makes our goodwill often misdirected? Are we really helping the right people, or are we just wearing ourselves out in vain? Stoic philosophy invites us to reflect on this, and perhaps it is time to reconsider to whom we are extending our hand. 1. The ungrateful. Wasted help. Imagine dedicating yourself fully to helping someone, only to be met with ingratitude and indifference. The ungrateful person sees no value in what they receive, treating help as something owed to them, an obligation of others. There is no exchange of gratitude, no acknowledgement of the effort. For the Stoics, ingratitude is not just a lack of manners, but a break in the cycle of reciprocity that keeps society united. By continuing to help someone who does not appreciate your efforts, you end up undermining your own well-being and wasting energy that could be directed toward those who truly value it. Ingratitude, besides being hurtful, can leave scars that affect how we view the act of helping. Those who have had their good deeds undervalued know how exhausting it can be. Wouldn't it be better to use your time to support those who, instead of complaining or demanding, know how to show gratitude? And if, by continuing to help the ungrateful, you are encouraging their lack of responsibility and perpetuating the cycle of devaluation? Stoicism teaches us to recognize these signs and, when necessary, to know when to step back. The truth is that help should not be a one-way street. It is a gesture that nourishes both the helper and the helped. When the ungrateful ignores or rejects this gesture, they break this exchange and turn what should be a supportive relationship into a draining experience. If you find yourself always extending your hand to those who never take it, perhaps it is time to rethink where you are investing your kindness. Deep down, we all want recognition, even if it is just a simple thank you. Stoics like Seneca and Marcus Aurelius warned that the greatest mistake in dealing with the ungrateful is allowing them to make us believe that all help is in vain. So, the next time you encounter someone who does not recognize what you do, ask yourself, does this person deserve the energy I am dedicating? 2. The lazy disguised inertia. Does helping those who do not want to help themselves really make any difference? Lazy people do not strive to improve, and worse, they expect others to solve their problems. Instead of seeking solutions, they find excuses, remaining in inertia. When we extend a hand to these people, we often end up reinforcing their lack of action. It is like pushing a car without fuel. Without their own effort, the car will never move. For the Stoics, wasting time and energy on those unwilling to act is a mistake we should avoid. By helping the lazy, you not only waste your resources but also prevent them from feeling the need to move and act on their own. Laziness is fueled by the absence of challenges and the habit of settling into a comfort zone. Could it be that by continuing to help, you are not contributing to their further sinking into inertia? Stoic philosophy teaches that each person is responsible for their own growth, and helping those who do not want to grow can be an obstacle for those who try to progress. For those who do not want to move forward, the world will always seem too difficult, the work too demanding, and the problems too big. What they do not realize is that it is the small steps that build the path to a fuller life. If you keep offering help without receiving any effort in return, wouldn't you be encouraging even more passivity? The Stoics believe that real change only occurs when a person feels the need to act, and it is up to us to know when it is time to stop pushing. Instead of wasting energy on the lazy, how about directing your support to those who show determination but just need a little push to advance? These are the ones who make the effort and dedication worthwhile. True wisdom lies not in helping everyone, but in recognizing where help can bear fruit. 3. The irresponsible. Negligence that harms. When we help an irresponsible person, we are not just wasting our efforts. We are allowing their actions to negatively impact society. Irresponsible people do not accept the consequences of their actions, and when someone rescues them, they end up repeating the same mistakes. This kind of help is like building a house on quicksand. It will not hold up. Stoic philosophy teaches that true help encourages growth and responsibility, not the perpetuation of negligence. Imagine constantly rescuing someone from problems they themselves create without learning to avoid them. This cycle is draining for the helper and harmful to the helped because it prevents the development of responsibility. If the person cannot see the impact of their actions and does not face the consequences of their mistakes, how can there be real growth? Helping the irresponsible only distances them further from the possibility of learning from their mistakes and taking control of their own life. By continuing to rescue the irresponsible, we end up getting involved in the problems they generate, without any learning or change in behavior. Stoicism guides us to act with wisdom, and this wisdom includes knowing when to let someone face their own difficulties. Helping without demanding responsibility is just a way of perpetuating irresponsible behavior. Could it be that you are helping too much and demanding too little? In some cases, the best help we can offer is to allow the person to face the consequences of their choices. This may seem harsh, but Stoic philosophy teaches that true compassion leads to growth, not stagnation. Now is the time to reflect. Are you helping the right people, or are you just wasting your energies in vain? If this resonates with you, do not forget to like the video, share it with those who could benefit from these lessons, and follow the channel for more deep reflections. The manipulator, help that turns into a trap. Have you ever felt manipulated by someone who used your emotions to get what they wanted? Manipulators rarely ask for help directly. Instead, they create scenarios where you feel obligated to intervene. They distort reality, exploit feelings, and abuse the goodwill of others to achieve their goals. The Stoics warn that helping these individuals can be dangerous because, in doing so, we end up strengthening their power over us and weakening our own autonomy. When we are manipulated, we are not just helping, we are being used. This feeling of being trapped in a forced cycle of assistance can be devastating and, worse, prevents genuine growth. Stoic philosophy preaches that we should act with clarity of purpose and maintain control over our own actions, avoiding being swayed by the emotional traps of manipulators. Help is only valid if it is offered consciously and intentionally, not if it is extorted through manipulation. Think about the relationships in which you constantly feel obligated to help, even if you do not want to. These are true emotional traps, where your compassion is used against you. Wouldn't it be wiser to break out of this cycle and focus your energy on helping those who truly need it? Remember that for the Stoics, inner freedom is achieved when we can say no to what leads us away from virtue. Could it be that your help is being wasted on those who only wish to manipulate to gain advantages? Be careful not to confuse compassion with submission. True help strengthens, while manipulation erodes. The chronic critic. The endless wear and tear. Have you noticed how some people seem never to be satisfied no matter what you do? Chronic critics are those who always find something wrong in every situation, even when the efforts are obvious. They do not offer constructive criticism to help, but rather to belittle and discourage. Stoic philosophy teaches that we must distinguish between those who criticize for the sake of improvement and those who do so merely to create discontent. If you keep trying to please chronic critics, you will only be wearing yourself out in vain. Constant criticism can be devastating, especially when it comes from people close to you. When we help someone who does nothing but point out flaws, we allow ourselves to be dragged into a negative cycle. Chronic critics rarely acknowledge effort, and instead of inspiring change, they undermine confidence and motivation. For the Stoics, it is essential to maintain control over what we can change, and that includes the decision to not heed criticisms that do not add value. Have you ever wondered why certain people are so focused on pointing out faults? Often, chronic criticism is a reflection of their own insecurities and dissatisfaction. The critic does not seek to improve what they see around them, rather to level everything down so that no one stands out. By trying to please these people, you will only be distancing yourself from your own purpose. Wouldn't it be wiser to spend your energy on those who want to build something positive? Instead of subjecting yourself to incessant judgment, choose to surround yourself with people who know how to offer constructive feedback and who appreciate your efforts. Criticism that elevates is the one that provides solutions, not the one that merely seeks to bring down. Stoicism teaches us to protect our peace of mind, and part of that is avoiding those who insist on undermining our confidence. 6. The narcissist. The trap of the inflated ego. How do you help someone who sees themselves as the center of the universe? Narcissists are not just interested in attention. They believe they deserve to be the focus of everything and everyone. When you offer help, they do not see it as a gesture of kindness, but as a confirmation of their importance. For the Stoics, trying to help a narcissist is futile because they are not willing to recognize their own flaws or the need for growth. When you help a narcissist, you are, in fact, feeding their inflated ego even more. The response you receive is not one of gratitude or acknowledgement, but of expectation for more admiration and servitude. When you try to correct or criticize a narcissist, you will not find an openness to dialogue because they are convinced that the problem is never with them, but with others. Is it worth spending your time and energy on someone who is not willing to change? Stoicism teaches us to value what is within our control, and how others receive or reject our help is beyond our reach. When we assist someone who refuses to acknowledge the need for self-criticism, we are merely reinforcing their toxic behavior. Why not redirect your help toward those who know how to listen and are eager to evolve? In a relationship with a narcissist, whether personal or professional, you will quickly realize that everything revolves around their needs and desires. If you keep offering support without receiving anything in return, you will only put yourself in a position of constant depletion. Stoic philosophy suggests that we practice wisdom in choosing who deserves our attention and care. 7. The opportunist. The hidden exploitation. Have you noticed how some people always show up when there is something to gain, but disappear when it is time to take on responsibilities? Opportunists are masters at taking advantage of situations and other people's efforts. Stoic philosophy teaches that helping these individuals not only depletes our resources, but also contributes to the perpetuation of unethical and dishonest behavior. When we extend a hand to opportunists, we encourage the use of shortcuts and the unfair exploitation of others' achievements. Opportunists are a constant presence, whether in the workplace, personal relationships, or even community activities. They know how to appear at the right time to reap rewards, but avoid contributing or sharing the burden of effort. Could it be that by continuing to help these individuals, you are not promoting harmful behavior that undermines those who truly strive? The Stoics advocate that virtue lies in just actions and that our efforts should be directed toward those who act with integrity. As tempting as it may be to help to avoid conflict, supporting opportunists ends up being harmful to everyone. They do not recognize the value of effort and have no qualms about exploiting the kindness of others. Upon realizing that your help is constantly being used as a means to achieve personal goals, without consideration for collective work, the wisest course is to cut off this toxic relationship. True help should encourage growth and ethics, not empower those who use others' kindness for their own benefit. By saying no to opportunists, you are not being selfish, but rather protecting the values that truly matter and fostering a culture of merit and responsibility. 8. The envious. Help that is never enough. Have you ever tried to help someone only to find that instead of gratitude, you received resentment? Envious people cannot rejoice in the success of others, and even when they receive help, they see it as proof of their inferiority. Instead of viewing the extended hand as support, they perceive it as humiliation. The Stoics believe that helping the envious is like trying to fill a leaky bucket. No matter what you do, it will never be enough. Envy corrodes from within and prevents the person from recognizing value in others' achievements. Even if you offer everything you can to help, the envious will always find a way to belittle your help, attributing ulterior motives or downplaying the value of what was offered. This attitude not only makes gratitude difficult but also creates a barrier to true growth. Wouldn't it be more prudent to direct your help toward those who are genuinely ready to accept and learn from it? By trying to help someone dominated by envy, you risk becoming entangled in a toxic cycle of frustration. No matter how much you try to improve the situation, the root of the problem lies in the envious person's inability to recognize their own worth and break free from destructive comparisons. The Stoics advise preserving your energy and investing in relationships that promote mutual growth. Remember that help should be directed toward those who are ready to use it as a stepping stone for growth, not those who see it as a threat. Envy is a poison that blocks progress, and by distancing yourself from envious people, you will be protecting both yourself and the environment around you. These 8 types of people exemplify how Stoic philosophy can guide us in recognizing when our help truly makes a difference. It's not about abandoning compassion, but about applying it wisely, acknowledging where our efforts will be valued and where they will contribute to genuine growth. True virtue lies not just in helping, but in discerning where and how our support can create the greatest positive impact. Throughout this reflection, we've examined together the types of people who may be draining your kindness and exhausting your energy. Stoicism teaches us to act with wisdom, discerning where and for whom our help will be truly valuable. Ultimately, real growth occurs when we learn to direct our time and compassion toward those who are ready to receive and transform. If this message resonated with you, make sure to like the video, share it with others who might benefit from these insights, and follow the channel to keep receiving content that will help you lead a wiser and more balanced life. See you in the next video for more Stoic teachings.